G'day everyone, and welcome back to Sapidum. On our last video we made our chunky style homemade tomato sauce, and today we'll be using that and more to make the world's best meatball sub. Let's get started. I'm starting by making my bread rolls. I'm using this bread bag as it has everything I need to make bread. The flour, salt and baking soda mixture goes into a bowl, and same with the little yeast packet. For this amount of yeast, the bag tells me 290 milliliters of water, warm, 28 to 30 degrees. Alright, let the fun begin. After mixing everything into a consistent ball, I'm going to dust the surface with flour and start kneading. I'm not a very good kneader, so you'll see me try different techniques to try and get the job done. If you're following along at home, a bench will work way better than a table on wheels. I don't have any benches large enough to film and prep on this, so this is the footage you get. After around 10 minutes, you can see the dough is starting to come together, but still breaks when stretched out thin. Back to kneading. I was at this for over half an hour, and as you'll see, it was way better, but would have been awesome if I gave it another 10 more minutes. What you're looking for is the dough to stretch out thin enough for you to be able to see through it like a stained glass window with minimal tears. Once that's achieved, we shape it into a ball, place in an oil-coated bowl and cover, put aside for 40-ish minutes or until doubled in size. Alright, meatball time. You'll see me prepping 2 onions, but 1.5 of these onions are going in the tomato sauce from our last video. So if you're doing this with us, do it all your chopping and prepping first. Get everything ready. Mise en place means everything in its place, and it's how kitchens all around the world, from your local KFC to Gordon Ramsay's Michelin star restaurants, are run. For our meatballs, only half an onion will be needed. Alright, big bowl time. I've got 1 kilo of meat, 500 grams of lamb, and 250 each of pork and veal. You can use whatever meat you want, but these are meatballs, not beef balls. I want meat. Alright, I'm measuring 1/4 cup of ricotta cheese. Chuck that in. Around 1/3 cup Parmesan, grated. The real stuff is so tasty. Don't skimp on your cheese, it's so good. Egg. Alright, next is a big bunch of parsley. I used about 2/3 of this bunch. I'm trying not to be too specific with measurements. This isn't a recipe video, it's a technique video. I'm just showing you what stuff you can do. Watch out for the fingers. Alright, in the bowl. I will lightly cook these onions with a bit of salt, just until translucent, and then remove them from the heat. But if you want more browned onions, you go right ahead, scamp. Do whatever you want. I'm so proud of you. Okay, in the bowl. Give your hands a wash and plunge them into the bowl as well. Alright, now move your fingies around and squish all the meat between them. Delicious. Set that aside and back to the bread. Old but clean baking tray makes a return. This time, no parchment, only oil. See, I'm learning with you guys. Nice light coat of oil on the pan before we flip the bread out. Look how fat this dough got, and this only took around half an hour. Cut in half and we're making baguettes. We want to flatten out these beautiful babies so we can roll them up. Once we have them to a length that we're happy with, we tightly roll the dough and finish seam side down. Centrally shape the dough and move on to the next one. After that, we will recover with plastic and let proof again until doubled in size. Alright, meatballs. In a roasting pan, spray the tray with canola oil and start balling these bad boys. Standard golf ball size is what I'm going with. Basketball is too big and marbles are too small. Evenly distribute these juicy balls across the roasting dish. Alright, bread is proofed, time to score. With a sharp knife or razor blade, score across the top of the bread to control where this thing cracks in the oven. If we don't do this step, we would have a blowout, likely on the side. Not good. These pretty puppies are going into a 200-degree oven for 25 to 30 minutes. I've got the pizza stone in there just to have a little more heat on the bottom of the pan, but I'm not even confident it did anything. Oh, meatballs in too. I could have cooked the bread directly on the pizza stone if I had a pizza peel, but I had no way of getting them in without ruining them. Meatballs, same temp, same time. With the rest of the mixture, I'm going to fry it to show you the difference between the two cooking methods. I think most people would instinctively want to fry the meatballs, so I want to show you why you shouldn't do that. First of all, the heat is uneven, and when you are cooking something with the surface area to volume ratio as high as a sphere, it's difficult to cook all of the inside without overcooking the outside. I cooked these over medium-low heat for around 20 minutes. To be frank, the stovetop balls are still super tasty, just a little dry. Alright, time for the bread to come out, and have a look at that. Oh, so good. And the smell. Alright, and the meatballs are out too, and it's taste test time. The first is the fried meatballs, and yes, this is as expected, very dry. Almost burnt exterior, and the interior has a crumbly texture. Not great. The oven baked ones though are much tastier. The outside is just a little brown, but the inside is super juicy and not at all crumbly. This could be a real meal on its own. Delicious. Okay, time for its final form. As you can see, we discovered a pretty significant hot spot in the oven, which is good to know about for future videos. I'm cutting this bread clean in half, showing Subway how it's done. You can butter this if you like, but our tomato sauce is already super buttery anyway, so you don't really need it. On goes the sauce, spread it out evenly, count out the meatballs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Some more sauce over the meatballs, grate some red cheddar over this blistering beast, and slice some cheddar for the top of the sandwich. My mouth is watering already. Just under the grill for a couple of minutes, and oh my lordy, look at that, such a tasty treat. Okay, assembly. Chuck the bread on top and enjoy this cross section. Take a bite and ascend to heaven.